you freaks and geeks out there in podcast land. It's Wednesday, February the 1st, and you know what that means. Welcome, freaks and geeks, to another smoke-filled and jam-packed episode of the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. The podcast where I meet with some of the most creative and influential people that I know to share stories from the ride of life. As always, I'm your host, the 512 Foot Doctor, coming at you live and direct from the one and only studio of Life or Death. If you're a returning freak or geek, well, thank you very much for checking back into our regularly scheduled appointment. And if you're new here, tuning in for the first time, well, welcome to the Freaks and Geeks family. And I want to let you know that you need to buckle up quick for this ride. Freaks and Geeks, you made it out of January. You made it into the first day of February, 32 days into the month. Take a look at yourself. Keep fucking going. Whatever you've been applying yourself to for the last 32 days, keep fucking doing it. Keep fucking at it. Keep fucking going. Because that's what we're going to be doing here at the podcast. We've got a lot of good stuff lined up, which kind of brings me into our guest for this week. Our guest for this week has been on the podcast a total of 4 times. This makes 4. And I just want to thank him for the support that he's aimed at myself at the podcast. Whenever I hit this guy up, he's always been down to throw on the cans and get a couple of questions in, a little convo going. Always throws in some good ideas. After the episode, little inside baseball. Him and I talked a couple of directions to kind of side quest the podcast, if I may. We're definitely going to be looking into that. Again, rebuilding, making the podcast better than what it once was. That's always the idea. Whatever you're trying to apply yourself to, always making it better than it once was. So, this is episode number 28. An amazing episode with, again, a returning guest. Episode 28, Cas Is Back IV. Here we go.
So I've been to pretty much all state parks in the area: Bastrop, Lockhart, McKinney Falls.
Yeah, that Waterloo one's pretty sick because that was always like it had been there, but they've definitely like revamped it and made something a hell of a lot better of what it is now. Yeah. It always had that little canal running through the middle of it, right. But when I remember it, like in the 90s, it was just grass on one side, grass on the other. It's more like a dog / like frisbee / like walking biking park. Now it's like, I don't know, like. They've modernized a lot of these parks to have these cool little features, cool little like little landscapes, the little stages and whatnot. So I definitely think that one
building community.
Yeah. There's that one. There's Butler Park, which is pretty dope. That one's like in the downtown area. Definitely like a spot to hit up.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I work on 6, so I've probably been to most of the parks downtown. I don't know them all by name, but you know that one on 4th in Lamar? It's like a BMX park.
No, I've heard about that one, though.
Yeah.
It's got the hills and whatnot.
Yeah.
I've heard about that. I have not even seen that. That's pretty dope.
I'm like 2 blocks from that, and so I'll take lunch sometimes and walk over there. And there's usually a couple guys running around like actually doing some riding. It's pretty cool.
You work off like West 6 or what?
Yeah.
Okay, the definite better end for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's not too bad. It's right by Lamar, so there's a lot of little places to eat.
No, I work off like E6, not very close to 6th Street itself, but definitely I can get to that area really quick.
Yeah,
I don't know. I get down with that E6 area a lot more than I do like the dirty 6th section
for sure.
I don't know. There's a lot of like walking stuff.
For me, Dirty 6 is a thing of the past.
Yeah, it's played out for sure. It is. It came and went, and
it's the Wild West. You know?
It can be
the OK
for
Corral.
Sure.
Like you know, just step on somebody's shoes walking down.
Yeah.
And, you know, that could
It's
be
crazy. A generic like bourbon, but for us.
Yeah. Do you remember Babes?
Babe. Was it a
It
restaurant?
was a pool hall.
No, I
on 6.
don't. No.
Well, she worked there for a while, dated the owner, and so I spent a lot of time on 6
Yeah.
as like a 8, 9, 10-year-old.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I saw Leslie, you know, very young.
Yeah.
And
I do remember seeing him for sure. But like the only thing I would go down to there for was like if my parents were taking us to like Pecan Street or something like that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, my mom took my sister to a Britney Spears concert for like Mardi Gras.
Like at Frank Irwin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so my babysitter was the bodyguard at Babes, the bouncer.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there. I had like a little remote control lowrider, you know, hanging out
I
on
remember
6,
those.
getting some beads.
Yeah.
Showed up, you know, my mom picks me up at the end of the night and had probably 20 pounds of beads on me.
Those remote control lowriders are definitely sick.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean that in itself is like part of the whole like collecting thing because I remember when those came out, you had
Lowrider.
like a solid 2, maybe 3. They weren't the best quality though. I would say the quality was definitely shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it
But
was
the fact that
worth
they
it.
could do that was dope.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I dig that.
I mean, these days that would probably be like a $60 piece,
Mm-hmm.
and it was probably like $15
Oddly enough, I feel like the quality would be a little bit better.
today.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, which is weird
Maybe
because
more functional.
yeah, you kind of think of like quality has gone down with over time, but like on an item like a RC car, for some, and I'm not like in the field for purchasing RC cars for
Yeah.
anything, but I feel like those kind of toys have definitely increased in their quality. And if you want anything to drink, there's some waters in there and whatnot.
Yeah, you know, my son's 11, so kind of not really in the RC market, but you know, for the hobby scale, like $100 and under.
Yeah.
But I just bought him a little drift truck
Okay.
last summer, and it was like $50.
Yeah.
Ready to run out of the box, like
Yeah.
everything, you know. And that would have probably been $250 when we were kids.
Yeah.
And it's definitely worth $50 to
Yeah.
just, you know, mess around with that.
That's sick. Where'd y'all get that at?
eBay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, eBay is my Amazon. Fuck Amazon.
I dig on eBay for sure. I do like it. You can find so with the whole collecting thing, that's like the collector's hub, I feel, and it's been for a long time.
eBay.
Yeah, eBay.
Yeah, they got the vault now.
hmm
I mean, for sure. And that's like why I go to eBay, because that's where I started at
Yeah.
eBay, like looking for some collection, you
Yeah.
know. And that's what I do. Like a lot of my time is just window shop some random collection that I want to start, or
Yeah.
you know, wish I still had, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Just those words, like "wish I still had." That's a big like
Yeah,
a stimulant, like a mental stimulant of the whole collecting thing is. And I guess I was listening to like a documentary before we started this whole like just recording, but that's huge in the flashback, and not flashback, like just the memory that it like spawns or brings out of
Yeah.
you when you're like, oh, I remember when I had that. So
it's a time machine.
they even said that in the documentary, for sure.
Really,
It is a
yeah.
time machine. With any item that you get, it could be, I don't know, a toy, it could be a piece of clothing, it could be a fucking typewriter, it could be a car, it could be a guitar. But these older ones, like I remember playing like an acoustic Gibson from like the 20s. And it's like, imagine the hands that this guitar has gone through from its creation up until whatever 2020, 2019, 18
Yeah.
when I played on it.
Right.
It's a shitload of hands and a shitload of stories that it's come across. It's just fascinating to think about that.
Oh yeah. Two things on that. Did they address like male versus female? And the next thing, one thing that I like, that I really kind of like, is old tools, like
That's
tools
huge too.
from, you know, like we were just talking about in the old in Detroit, like
Yeah.
you know, 40s, 50s, 60s tools. And yeah, and thinking about, I mean, look at the man hours that tool has put
Mm-hmm.
in, you know, and it's still working. And I buy old antique tools and use them.
Yeah.
Because there's, you know, they're.
And that's on like yours, like what you just stated for like antique wise, but there's heads that collect Milwaukee's, there's heads that collect fucking Snap-ons.
Yeah, they got
those
the whole
collection.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But then there's, like you were just stating, collecting for an older, just to have an older piece and continue to use it or refurbish it and use it, like make it even stronger than what it was. I think that's pretty dope as well.
But did they go into like, because in my view, in my experience, it's always men that have collections. Like, I don't really know any women that have some collection.
It's interesting that you state that. Like, I was going to say, like, are you talking about like G.I. Joe versus Barbie? But no, you're talking like physical man versus woman.
Yeah, my wife doesn't really have a collection of anything.
And that's even another statement that documentary made. Like, if you really think, like, someone can make that statement, but honestly, it's quite possible that they have at least one collection. Because...
Sure, yeah.
And they might not consider them collectors per se, but they do definitely have a collection that that they, I don't know, that they maintain and that they appreciate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure that, you know, my wife would probably say that she does have a few collections, but like as far as like the majority of the phenomenon of collection, like I feel like anytime you see somebody talking about a big collection, it's a guy.
Yeah, there's a larger male presence.
Huge collection of cars, huge, you know, house that's full of Star Wars stuff or whatever.
Star Wars is a big one on the whole collecting thing.
I mean, shoes.
Shoes.
Even in the shoe world, I mean, is there a big female presence?
I mean, we're talking like sneakers versus like heels, definitely.
Oh, yeah. I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I may be wrong about all of that.
No, I mean, that's all good, but like, I think like ornaments, Christmas stuff is a big like, and I don't want to like, what's the word I'm looking for? Put like a stereotype on like a sex or anything like that.
Yeah,
so,
same.
But Christmas ornaments is a big one. Yeah. But
I collect those.
Me too. So there you go. What else?
It's certainly present in men. Mm-hmm. At least we can
it's more predominant, more dominant in the male like species to collect or have like a collection of shit. Yeah. I don't know, like, and don't hate me, Freaks and Geeks, for staying like going down this route, but like that homemaker wife tends to. I mean, I've seen like women that often collect like cows and deck out their kitchen with cows or chickens or some shit like that.
Yeah, porcelain.
I remember my grandmother used to collect those porcelain drama masks.
Yeah,
but they would be the typical happy sad. I'm probably saying that wrong, but that's just what I see. The happy sad masks, and it had like a different print.
The theater masks.
Yeah, theater masks, but they'd always be the same theater masks, but different colors, different themes.
Little makeup on them.
Yeah, them.
I remember those very present. My, you know, I'm definitely wrong because my grandma had a collection of china.
Yeah.
And, you know, other collections. I don't know if you ever knew about those, but you know, it was like during that era of everything, like you could just order off some commercial, you know, like they were selling knives or gemstones or whatever, but they had Princess Diana dolls.
Okay.
They were like super pricey.
I don't remember the dolls, but I remember she got her own, the fuck are they called? Beanie Baby.
Yeah.
That one went.
My grandma had that and the whole collection of the dolls too. I'm sure she still has it. Very, you know, hard to find collection.
And then like for sales purposes, there's always, and they didn't talk about this in that documentary. And it's just a YouTube documentary, Freaks and Geeks. I forget I think it's just called Collecting, but it has a big presence in toys. But a big question that I was thinking about that a lot of collectors ask when it comes to like purchasing is, does it have the box? Right. That's huge.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So on one aspect, we're collecting an item, but we're also like searching for the box just to hold on the box.
Yeah, and that's the other side of the collection is like the people who want to like preserve it and like the Pokemon cards, like level 10, whatever they are.
I wish I still had those.
I know.
That's another. We just said that statement. I wish I still had that.
My G.I. Joes, man.
Because I know I had some hitter Pokemon cards.
I know.
I never had like a
100%.
Charizard or a Bulbasaur or anything like that, but I had some hitter holographic / promos and or even like foreign ones that I know would have brought in some coin.
I had about 10
Yeah.
that I saved from my childhood.
Yeah. I just had one.
And they were all my best. They had always been in, the protection sleeves or whatever. And then I gave them to my son a few years ago, and he just lost them at school. And so, what
that
else?
happens, man.
Yeah.
But like collecting has its like positives and negatives because it can definitely lead to like hoarding and stuff like that if you're not careful.
Right.
But I was thinking this morning, like, is collecting genetically passed down like in the bloodline? Because that's like a statement my mom would like, oh, like you do this because it's in your blood. I don't think it can be passed down bloodline wise, but I think the habit gets passed down that's from your bloodline, if that makes any sense. Like you're not going to get it when you're born, but you're going to witness this habit from the people around you that are, i.e. mom, dad, brother, aunt, uncle, grandparents, whatever. You're going to pick up on that habit, which like it's not bloodline passed down, but it is passed down through the people around you that are your biggest influence.
Right,
I guess.
nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
I would kind of lean to think that it would be more human nature, like seasons coming and going and winter coming, and you kind of got to build a hoard of food just to live, and then maybe it kind of grows from there.
Yeah. All right, so we've talked about like collecting the act of it, and you've stated like you got a collection of tools. What else do you collect?
I've got a collection of Mustangs, which is like a daily battle for me to kind of justify mentally having, because I always think about collections and like, at what point is it a hoard? And is it not really always a hoard? Because I don't need any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I would like to have less stuff and be more present. But at the same time, some of the collection, I think, also provides other things for me. Working on the cars and having like a space.
Therapeutic, like outlet. Right. Almost like an artistic expression in the automotive realm.
And that's pretty much the justification for keeping those cars currently.
Looking cool in it while you're driving them around, for sure.
Yeah. I think they look cool, but I don't think anybody else really does. And I
Freaks and Geeks mind the sirens.
Downtown New York.
Yeah.
Manhattan.
In the cut, for sure. Freaks and Geeks, watch out for the dog too. He doesn't like that stuff. So my apologies on this one. Let's see. So they got the collection of cars that you got to sometimes use the collection of tools on.
Yeah. Harmony.
Mm-hmm. So cars. What else you got?
For collection, I have some Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Not really one or two things. I've got some small stuff, nothing really, but that's it.
That realm, that Star Wars / like sci-fi realm is huge, and I alluded to it briefly. But that even goes into like the Disney realm of just like just producing a shitload of stuff and putting it on the market, and then like there's your hit and miss like items of rarity.
Yeah,
like isn't the that I said that right?
Yeah,
isn't that from the 70s like extremely rare, that toy?
For sure.
That one, the Millennium Falcon, the big one, that one's rare. I remember when Phantom Menace came out, the Darth Maul figure was like extremely hard to get.
And I had one. Yeah. I had all of those.
Yeah. And then keeping those like in the box, in the case versus taking them out of the case. I don't know, man. That's
I had a
just
huge
crazy
collection of Hot Wheels. I had Hot Wheels from the first year the Hot Wheels came out. None of them were in their boxes or anything like that. But as far as my collections go, like anything I collect, I'm not intending on really like making money off of or selling. So I don't care about like the money value, that side of it. It's all just kind of like, does it bring me joy? And doesn't bring me back to that time and place.
Do you look up if it's appreciated in value?
Every now and then, a few things of
Just
mine will.
curiosity?
Yeah. I mean, as far as the Mustang goes, I always stay up to date
Yeah.
on the market with that and how that kind of goes. And, but every time I think about a number, if I were to sell one of mine, I just can't really find
You
that
don't
number.
like care for it because you don't want the money, you want the
Yeah.
thing. I feel the exact same way. Like, I mean, I've got some Pops, some little Funko things that bought in at like, and I hate, I don't want to say that. Let me take that back. Purchased them at like
That's a very
8.
collector language.
Yeah. Ugh. Purchased them like at 8 to like max 12, and they go for like 120 now.
So for you, is it an investment?
No,
No,
it's not. But I think,
but you still keep up. With
yeah,
that,
for on a few of them for sure. Because like you, I wouldn't sell them either. But just to have them. But even then, like that one right there, I don't remember how much I bought it for, but it ranks at like 120, 140. What else? There's one.
Certainly collectible. I know a couple people.
Yeah.
Collect them.
There's one of like a sports hero of mine that same thing dropped at like 8 to 12, goes for like 100 now, which is crazy. That appreciation on that.
For sure.
And
at
even though
that
like,
level, it is an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment, but it's only an investment for like, I don't know, mental. I don't even want to say just to a curiosity investment because you're like, oh, this has gone up in value.
Right. Yeah. And it kind of brings some kind of value to you, not necessarily monetarily.
Just because you own it and it's kind of cool.
Right.
But the that documentary did talk about digital collecting as well. And collecting has taken a turn for that. NFTs, but I feel like those flopped heavy. And I know we're still like in the early realm.
We are. We certainly are. I mean, crypto is here to stay, period. Mark my words, bet anything. It might not be, Dogecoin or whatever, not that I believe in any of these coins, but the technology behind crypto, period, is here to stay. The IRS is already looking at it. The Fed, FTC is already looking at it. So, I mean, it's going to be regulated, and and it's part of the market. And plenty of things, investment-wise, are, unregulated.
Yeah.
So, this is just something in the early stages. It's here to stay, period. So.
I struggle with the whole NFT thing because it's like,
but NFTs, they have a lot
of flaws. They got a lot of flaws too. With the fact that everybody like just pokes fun and like, oh, you just showed me it, now I can just take it as well.
Well, see, I think the future for NFTs are not in art.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like a vehicle title and proof of ownership throughout. From the creation of that vehicle. All the service records, registration records, all that attached to that NFT. I think that's what the future of NFT looks like.
Yeah. I feel like Wu-Tang Clan was like one of the early, I don't know, I don't want to say advocates, but like people that brought in that whole like collection based off, similar to an NFT, because they released one of their albums. No one knew what was on it, and they only made the master. And that's what they sold. So you couldn't buy that record anywhere.
Wow.
You could only buy that one. And I feel like that, like, who is that pharmaceutical dirtbag went to, who knows at this point in time, but I think that guy bought it.
Yeah, starts with Kelly or
something like that. Yeah. Weird looking guy. But yeah, I think he bought it, which is in itself
that
weird.
Sounds right, yeah.
But that's like an early kind of similar NFT thing that I remember that, but that was one of one. But I feel like all these current NFTs are one of one as well.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? As they are, I think they're gonna die in the art form. I mean, I think there's some value to it.
Yeah,
but it's got to be more established, and we need to, build better networks that are more suitable for like a global community, because a lot of the networks these NFTs are sold on are really small and you got to really know what you're doing.
Yeah, because I love art in itself, but I need physical.
Yeah,
I gotta have a physical piece.
for sure. Yeah, I think NFTs are better, like I said, card titles or a ticket to a show.
Yeah.
Something that you can carry that you need proof that you own. But
Yeah. Because I feel like a Pokemon card is more NFT than a true NFT is,
Sure, yeah.
And worth more.
DC is actually trying to do something like that right now.
With the NFTs?
Yeah, like an NFT collectible card type of thing.
Physical one?
No.
Or digital?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like, a lot of people, I feel like Ozzy Osbourne dipped in the NFTs. I mean, the list is going to go on, but wanted to do a trading card one. I remember Pete Rose released like an NFT. And
I mean, a lot of these guys just got scammed.
Yeah, for sure. But they were just trying to put their money.
Yeah.
They were trying to invest in something that didn't take.
Yeah.
I feel.
And we're kind of looking at like the new .com bubble. So a lot of in the .com era, a lot of things popped up, and when the dust settled, when the bubble popped and the dust settled, a lot of them didn't make it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to see with crypto and NFTs.
But I mean, yeah, I think that's a good stance on just collecting in general. I think collecting, you may not think that you're a collector, but I think at the end of the day, there's something that you have. Yeah, we're all collecting something.
Memories,
photos, people, that's their collection. I don't know, clothes, toys, the list goes on what you can collect.
Pets,
Plants, for sure. Plants is huge on a male and like female spectrum. I think plants did pop up like big recently, but
the pandemic really kind of turned that.
Yeah, people getting greenhouses and all that shit, just going in like in-house, in-home greenhouses and whatnot.
This is kind of a pivot point. What have you tried Ironox yet?
Ironox? No, what is that? Tell me about that.
That's the robotic farm in town. They're growing arugula, a few other things. They're going to expand what they're growing, but from start to finish, it's managed by robots.
Really?
Yeah, so they germinate the seeds, put it in the soil, manage the growth, harvest, and packaging.
Yeah.
And Market Street Cafe uses their arugula. So you should go check it out.
I'll check that out.
It's pretty good.
I can see a benefit in that realm because you can just tell this, I don't know, we'll call it AI, I guess. You can tell that what to do to the T, and hopefully it's not going to fuck it up.
Yeah, it is AI.
Yeah.
It's not like some human brain. It just knows how to do its task.
Shouldn't fuck up its measurements.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be
just
off
knows
time.
Where to move and lift and things like that. But it's completely clean, bug free, and it's actually hydroponic, so there's no soil. I missaid that, but super green, super efficient.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I guess that can also pivot a little bit. What's your take on this daylight savings time thing and trying to like get rid of that?
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm down too. But
I
don't like it at all. But I feel like they're trying to make this current fall time the time.
Yeah, and that's a mistake.
Yeah, I feel the same way because I don't want to. I don't think because right now when we go to like noon, the sun is at its 1 o'clock point when it should be the spring time clock time change.
Right. Yeah, we need to wait for fall or spring. It just like, I get off work, get home, and it's dark. I'm just like, well, the day's over.
I've always been done with it. I've always never liked it.
Yeah.
Aside from like it bringing in colder, well, it doesn't bring in colder weather, but it's associated with, the winter time. I hate the fact that it gets darker earlier. And I don't like that it only truly serves one purpose of some shit that the founding fathers put into place for farmers.
Right. And at the time, the farmers were pretty vocally against it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
that. It's just, bad government.
Yeah.
I believe in government, but there are mistakes they make, and that's one of them.
Yeah. Making you do what you don't want to do.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely don't get down on it.
Yeah, and I think the Texas current legislation is, going to tackle that this year because they're all fools. But we'll see.
Yep. It's going to be a big year for
Legislation.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a scary year.
Yeah.
I think that since Trump's been elected, they've done a great job of making it scary all the time. But after the midterms and the turnout and the results that came, I'm just kind of burnt out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty passionately into politics and keeping up with everything, but I don't think it needs my attention as much.
Oh, yeah. You were trying to run there for a second, right? Weren't you
I
locally?
will. Yeah.
Yeah?
I will. I've got, some maturing yet. I got to learn more of how the processes work and bureaucracy.
What to say and how to say it.
Yeah. I got to start playing the politics a little bit and figuring out what that looks like over here.
Yeah.
Because I don't really, I mean, I don't know if you heard there was a big proposal by Micron semiconductor manufacturer to build a plant in town. And they wanted...
Yeah. I did hear about that. I didn't dive too much into it, but I remember that popping up.
Yeah, I can't remember the details, but I want to say it was like $5 billion in tax abatements from the school district.
Yeah.
And in exchange for the possibility of like maybe 78 jobs that would pay around $70,000.
Yeah.
Starting 2030.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, just an investment perspective, like $5 billion for about $5 million in revenue. Like, come on. And it looked like the school board was gonna take it.
Yeah.
And they wanted it. So that kind of tells me, they're a bunch of sellouts. I don't know any of them, but they got to be if they're dealing with that. They're not looking at anything from the community's perspective.
Yeah.
Because what does that do for us? I mean, we have to build the roads to their manufacturing place. Semiconductor manufacturers use a gigantic amount of water.
Yeah.
I mean, we have water problems in Texas.
Yeah.
It's every day it's getting worse. And all the new housing that's being built, I mean, the water districts around here are having trouble keeping up.
Yeah.
There's no way that they can keep up simultaneously with a semiconductor manufacturer.
Didn't they take off and get picked up in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, upstate New York, which, man, that's a beautiful country up there, I mean, we need semiconductors, it's part of life, but I don't want it in my backyard.
Yeah. I think that was like big for like old heads didn't want that here. Maybe those newer heads that are in this area, those like East Austin cats that came over here, were kind of for that.
I don't know if anybody was really, I think it was if anybody, it's the board just being sellouts, thinking that it's going to pay off for them somehow.
Yeah.
It had to have been, from my perspective.
I feel like this local government, and in this town, has always been thinking of like the now and not like the
future.
The far future.
Right.
For sure.
We need to be thinking a generation or two out.
Yeah.
Period.
They've wanted to keep this like area as like small. I wanted to say humble, but I'm not going to say that. Just as small and like laid back and towny as it is.
Yeah.
But there are people moving here now. They're definitely on board to change that.
They're going to force it in another direction. Yeah. I mean, I like the small townness of it. I like the pace of it. I like that, if I drive on the square at 8:30 tonight, it's not going to be very busy.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some nights if I drive through at 8:30, it's going to be completely empty.
Yeah.
I like that, but yeah, there's a lot of, like we were saying earlier, there's a lot of new faces in town. So it's getting pulled in different directions and, we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to run for office one of these days. I don't know what that's going to look like or where that's going to be specifically, but I still got to wait till I can, sharpen my tools to get in that.
Yeah. Have you have you volunteered for anybody?
No.
Campaigns?
I was gonna do Beto, but I'm so busy. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be a few years before I can like manage to have time. My daughter's gonna have to be older.
Yeah.
But I will. I've done some protesting. Back in the day. I've participated in some activism. I know all of my representatives, and I've sent them letters and called them and all that. But yeah, no, I need to get in. I want to try to get in with Judy Safrini, our state senator. Try to get in with her office at the Capitol.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll start there.
Yeah, we'll do it, man.
Yeah.
All right, so let me throw a couple of questions at you. These are completely random. Let's see what's going down. It's almost like a test. I pulled these. I really fuck with the guy who drafted this up, and they were successful for him. So let's see what's going on. What's your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really do a lot of cussing, but
yeah,
I think that one always just makes a good point.
Yeah, it's always good. It
can be funny.
Yeah, for sure. Can be funny. Can be used for a lot of.
It's very versatile.
Yeah, extremely versatile. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Yeah, I mean, definitely public service.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's elected office or appointed, or just something I have to climb up to.
Were movies or TV important, like an important part of your life growing up?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like especially for our generation, it was huge. It was like our babysitter.
Yeah. I can see that. Like
our mentors. The people we looked up to. Like everything. It was I don't know. I feel like it was like almost like our Bible.
Yeah.
Media in general, like for me, the Rock was like an idol. This thing that I always looked up to and wanted to be like or act like. It was,
and he was acting in itself. That's crazy.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, huge part of my life. I think it still is.
Yeah,
try to keep it healthy, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's very strange. Like I feel like cartoons, even like the Looney Tunes, help me. I learned how to talk from them.
Okay, yeah,
which is weird.
Yeah.
Just the catchphrases they would say, the things they would say, and that's odd because when we were growing up, those were the tunes of like the 40s and the 50s and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm taking this like frame of speech from decades and I'm bringing it into like my vocabulary at like modern times, which is weird.
That's one thing I've always loved about it, is like it's like a window into the past, and you can watch movies from the 40s or whatever, and whether they're portrayed in that era or they were filmed in that era, the language is so different than today, and I love that, and I like being reminded of that so I can reel in my language today and kind of like, because these days we use a lot of, I don't know the word for it, but the language is just different. It's a lot less sophisticated.
Yeah. I think it's sophisticatedly reduced to not offend others. Mm-hmm. Possibly.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely. That's one aspect.
Or to not get your ass fired at work.
I mean, like the way people describe things, or the way they talk to people, that they're not going to say Mr. or, it's people don't say hello anymore. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. I feel like it's like, sup, hey.
Yeah.
It's very informal these days.
Yeah.
Versus how it used to be.
What was your favorite NES, Super NES, Sega game growing up?
Spider-Man. I can't remember what Spider-Man was. Man, I'm not good at NES games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, PlayStation was kind of where I took off.
What was your favorite one in there?
For like all of the generation of PlayStation,
I guess the like beginning one,
beginning games. Jeez,
maybe 1 or 2, PS1, PS2.
yeah. I mean, James Bond was
Mhm.
at 007.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of the biggest ones in my childhood was Vice City,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and they just brought that back on PS Plus.
Yeah, that's crazy though, because I was you should check this one out too. There's a GTA documentary on YouTube. It's like 9 hours long. It's fucking crazy, and I didn't know that Vice City, Liberty City, and San Andreas are part of like the first game. They go back that far.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
The drop down like bird's eye view game. I've always kind of been interested in playing that, but I don't know. It's more of like an arcade game, true arcade, going for like high score and whatnot.
Yeah. Right. Just doing a run.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah. I mean, and then that's where I got like a lot of my music. Vice
They had
City,
a hell of a
San
fucking radio
Andreas,
soundtrack
all
there.
that, yeah. Every one of those games have just killer soundtracks. Which I mean, soundtracks. That's something we could talk about all.
Movie soundtracks.
I love soundtracks.
Yeah, that's like what's some of your favorite ones?
I mean, big one for me that I can listen to pretty much anytime is Into the Wild.
Okay.
We made a trip to the beach one time just listening to the soundtrack of 300.
Oh yeah.
Just speeding the whole way. What's that Matthew McConaughey movie that
Interstellar?
Yeah.
That one? That's more like droney tracks, right?
Very, yeah. Similar to Inception.
Yeah.
But I mean it just the way it builds and
Yeah.
just kind of, get into the waves of it,
Yeah.
just
I purchased a lot of like Tarantino soundtracks.
Oh really?
Yeah.
See, I mean, I'm sure I know them, but I don't know any of those particularly.
Yeah. And I don't know, he's a master when it comes to like incorporating specific songs into his films. Like I got the Reservoir Dogs one. That was probably the first one I bought. I definitely bought the Pulp Fiction one. And oddly enough, I can just listen to those whenever. Like even in the car, I can, all right, I'm going to throw on, like, I've found myself saying, hey, I'm going to throw this on just because I want to get in that like vibe, I guess.
Yeah. I will definitely be looking into those because, I mean, I don't know. I guess I never really thought about
they got
Tarantino.
some.
Yeah.
Even the, damn, what's it called? Mark Wahlberg porno movie. What's it called? God damn it, Freaks and Geeks. My apologies. I got to come across it. Boogie Nights. The Boogie Nights soundtrack is definitely dope. I think that
awesome era.
Is that one a double disc? I don't know. I love the double disc soundtracks too. There's something about like a double disc case, even double disc games where you just like
Seems
I don't
a little
know.
special.
Yeah. Soundtracks.
That's another collection too. I have vinyls.
Oh really? Okay. Let's get back on that. All right.
Yeah.
Because that's odd. I think for some reason, for me right now, the vinyl heads are coming out of the woodwork, being like, I didn't know you collected. A dude I work with, like before, like last week, I figured out. I've been working with this motherfucker for like 5 years, and I just found out by him telling me that he collects vinyl.
Wow.
So like,
yeah, it's kind of a hidden thing. It's like it doesn't really come up.
Yeah.
What
got you into it? Because I was kind of like hesitant to get into it. I was like, no, I'm going to stick with CDs. I got a shitload of CDs. I fuck with music a lot, but I'm just going to use CDs. And then, I don't know, something broke. I got a vinyl, got a record player, and now I'll buy the CD and I'll buy the vinyl.
I mean, so I spent a lot of time with the grandparents growing up, obviously, and they always listened to the oldies but goodies.
Yeah.
Right. And in the car it was on a tape, and at the house it was on a record.
Yeah.
So they had a huge collection of records, and so I grew up with listening to records. We had the Rocky what's the Rocky theme?
Gonna Fly Now? Or
Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger. Yeah.
Yeah, we had that on vinyl, not from the Rocky, but from the actual band.
Yeah, Survivor, I believe.
Yeah, Survivor. There you go. Michael Jackson on
Yeah.
vinyl, you know, all that. So that, you know, I grew up with it, and then we moved to Colorado, and we did a lot of thrifting
Yeah.
when we got there. Place called ARC, ARC, like a thrift shop and
Yeah.
chain in Colorado. Found a record player for $20. It might have been 40, I don't know. But you know, took it back home, turned it on, and it worked right away.
Yeah.
No problem. Turns out it's from '69. It's a Zenith.
That's cool.
Huge speakers, and those old speakers, man, there's
Yeah.
nothing like them.
Yeah, no, they're great.
And yeah, so that's where it started. I think that was going on 6 years ago, and
There's a huge
building the
following in
collection
like
since.
the hi-fi in that, like that's huge.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be, you know, for my older years, but get into like the really nice stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the really like original prints, or
Yeah.
you know,
Because
right now it's all just hobby level. Great.
Yeah. A buddy of mine, I went to his like parents' house. This was for not parents, like I think it was his uncle. This was just for like a celebration, and the whole house I feel was wired with speakers.
Wow.
And he had, I think it was the whole house. If it wasn't the whole house, it was just the room. But I feel like there was like and these were like hidden speakers too. Most of them looked like your typical speaker, but some of them didn't. And
Like built in the wall.
no, not built in. They were just speakers, old speakers that didn't look like a speaker
Okay.
at all.
Okay. Yeah.
And I might be wrong that it was the entire house, but it was definitely a listening room, and it was sick. So I would never have picked or like put that someone in his family would be that invested to have a dope little listening room like that.
Goals.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be awesome.
It's sick.
Yeah.
Do you have any like rare or odd vinyls, LPs?
No, I've got the soundtrack to Drive, another great soundtrack.
Okay.
And then I've got Slightly Stupid that's done in orange, and it's got a little like handwritten message on it.
Yeah. Yeah, the colored ones are really cool. I dig
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, I think we got a clear one.
That's
Got,
sick.
You know, Rage Against the Machine,
Yeah.
Metallica,
Yeah, these new
Frank
prints.
Sinatra.
Yeah. These new pressings with color are huge. And I mean, that's weird that we get to talking about the vinyls because today is Record Store Day. Do you know about that?
Nice. No.
Before pandemic, it was one day devoted toward like these rare releases and re-releases of anything on vinyl, anything on CD, not anything, stuff on vinyl, stuff on CD, stuff on cassette that you could get in special pressings, different colors, extremely shit that may have never been released to the public before. But now they've broken it down into like 4, it might be even more than that, 4 days throughout the year. And today just so happened to be one of them. And you can catch a lot of shit. I've always been, I've only done it once, I believe. And what I got was some pretty dope stuff. I really get down with that.
Is that like a nationwide thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we did that years ago in Colorado.
Yeah.
There was a lot of record stores in the Springs.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of our heyday
Yeah.
before we had a kid.
Yeah. I see. Yeah. No, that's weird. I mean, it's odd that we are still talking about collecting.
Yeah.
And we've gone in
it's
like
all
it's
about
brought
collection.
it back. It's I don't know. It's strange,
That's all it is, yeah.
but I love a good record, man. The act of doing it is what I originally started to get off on that I wouldn't get off on like with listening to CDs or cassettes. The physical, like dropping the needle, finding the track that you want if you're not going to start it from the very beginning, but just doing it. And then it sounds, I feel, much better. Well, even though you can get some like dirty cuts or like you can get some pops and whatnot, I think it just sounds better than a crystal clear CD
Yeah.
and or cassette.
You can feel it.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But then there's also that like, well, I don't want to wear it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's got to be, you know, a little bit sparingly.
Yeah.
But that also kind of, you know, that's kind of part of the experience. You're like, well, yeah, that's that this is like a limited time thing. If I can't just play this thing into, for 100 hours straight.
Yeah. And I'll share, when we're done with this, I'll share some with you and show you a couple probably, I don't know. I don't want to say prized possessions because I
know you had a CD collection.
Yeah, I still do.
Yeah.
Still do. And I mean, I don't know, because like I still love my CD collection, but I was always using it for my car.
Yeah. And that's why.
it.
That's why. Yeah. And now we're past that.
I know it sucks because like I only have one car that can take CDs. That's weird to say that can take CDs. I only have one car with the CD player in it.
I sold my last one.
Yeah.
And I don't have one, so it's like I've got one that has tapes, and that's it.
I hate that we've been forced into digital via our automobiles at the current time. That sucks.
Yeah. Well, and like me and you drive the same vehicle, and it's not like we can really just swap out.
Yeah.
And get the old stuff.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, I don't think I would want to do that because that one's like.
No, I love.
Me
love
too.
the infotainment center on that.
Yeah.
It's so simple. It works. It's nothing fancy, but it just works right.
Yeah. And I will say, like, while Apple is a big in this whole digital collecting thing, being the iTunes and now like Apple Music, using their stuff, that CarPlay is pretty solid. I get with that.
It's pretty seamless. Yeah. And that was one of the selling points on buying that. I was like, well, I'll plug my phone in and no problems. Yeah. I didn't have to do some crap.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. Like it's been a while since I actually sat down at home and put on a CD. I think like with my setup, I'll do it periodically.
Yeah.
But that also goes back to the fact like, oh, which one do I have on CD and which one do I have on vinyl? So if my choice is either one, I'm definitely picking vinyl first and foremost.
What's really unique about the vinyl and CD experiences, in anything like recorded media, physical, is that you are going to listen to an album from start to finish.
Yeah.
And that's something people do not do these days.
Yeah.
I feel
it's just
like
one.
That's a thing at the past. That was something that died with us.
Yeah.
And
I didn't start that way. I think I was a singles guy.
Yeah.
And I was a singles guy and I was a compilation album guy.
Right. I would be recording on, my tapes on the radio.
Yeah. And I think when I first tried to listen to like an album start to finish, I didn't like it.
Right.
Now it's all I
weird.
do. Yeah. It was weird because it was like I just want to hear the one that I want to hear.
Yeah.
And like you have to go through this entire
journey
just to get to it.
Yeah. And then you get there's those albums where you have to listen to them start to finish. They're just so good. They just build,
Yeah. But no, now I'm all for it. Start it, go to the end, and that's it. I guess I can hear like a journey or at like a story through the lyrics from the beginning to the end.
Sometimes, sometimes they're built that way. I won't buy anything physical that I can't listen to in that form.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to skip around or whatever. Have you ever seen the Pink Floyd album that's supposed to be like paired with The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah. Have you done that?
Yeah, I've seen that. That's pretty dope. I dug it. One day I just woke up and I was like, I know about this. I gotta watch it, and it's sick.
Yeah,
the fact that it lines up essentially from the jump.
That's a conspiracy theory, though. I mean, it wasn't really
meant for each other.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can
obviously,
see that. Yeah.
But there was, some theory that it was written for the movie. But it is weird how it does line up a lot.
I almost
especially
perfectly.
The energies.
Yeah. No, I really liked when I watched it.
So dark.
Yeah.
To me, that's the way I saw it. I was like, oh, this is like a horror film.
Yeah. I've only seen it once that way.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was definitely entertained more than I would have been with the regular film.
Right.
I mean, I'm not dying to see Wizard of Oz, but it's not a shitty piece of work either,
No. It's a great piece of work. But
so when you add those two, it It was good. It was entertaining for sure.
Yeah, and it is kind of the season for watching something like that. To me,
Yeah.
I feel like the colder weather kind of signifies like
Okay,
family
so
warmer movies.
So you have a seasonal appreciation for
Yeah.
film. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
I definitely get into the Christmas movie. In October it's Halloween. It's all horror.
do you have any that you strictly reserve for a day or a season? I do. There's films that I won't watch in this
Until
season.
Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, not necessarily, sure, Christmas films, yeah, but even Halloween films as well.
Sure.
Like, I'll reserve those for, but I have a film I'll reserve for the summertime,
I used to have a collection for Christmas Day and Thanksgiving, but it's all just kind of seasonal now.
Yeah.
I'm more impatient, I guess.
So I'll run a list and let me know what you think. So, like for summertime, and I hope this doesn't date myself, I reserve The Sandlot for the summertime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Reserve that. Halloween.
I mean, that's really a 4th of July movie.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I do reserve it for that day as well.
Or the night before. I mean, that's kind of what we did the last 2 years, 4th of July.
Watch that.
Do that, go do fireworks.
Yeah.
And
it's a quality film for that.
The air is just, you get into it.
There's something about that movie that's just timeless too and just so good. I think it went into the theaters. I'm pretty sure it did. But I don't know, like that's strange that they were able to accomplish what that film did for who it was trying to, get across to.
Yeah.
So reserve that one for summertime. Halloween is definitely like October reserved for your horror films. It's always been. I mean, even dating back to like what they put on TV on their TV schedule, it's rearranged that way. I reserve like The Shining for Halloween.
Yeah.
Let's see. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah, that's very like Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's it. That's all Thanksgiving. Right. Christmas Story, of course. You got your Grinches, your Charlie Browns as a reserve. Vacation. Christmas Vacation. I reserve Die Hard for Christmas. How do you feel about that? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Me too. I definitely and again, I'll only watch that, be it the day before, the eve, or even like the 23rd.
Yeah. 1 year we did Tom Hanks Giving.
Okay.
Just Tom Hanks
watching
movies.
film. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. And I like that. Like people release things to do and or films to watch in sequence for Halloween, for Thanksgiving, and for Christmas. And I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so for Tom Hanks, it's so versatile.
Yeah.
He's got so much stuff. And they're all long, so it's like 5 movies in the day.
Yeah. I think that's all. I don't have anything for New Year's or January or February. I won't. I was gonna state something, but I won't do that for spring break.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's all I got on that film.
I can think of what I would have thought of as a child at spring break.
What's that?
My wife and I were actually just talking about this. Girls Gone Wild.
Oh yeah, that came and went for sure.
Such a weird time.
Very late night promo stuff too, and it was only late night.
Comedy Central,
weird.
or whatever,
hitting the college campuses and whatnot, doing all that stuff.
Yeah. That would not fly these days.
No, definitely get canceled quite quickly. Very quickly. Upset somebody. Tell me about some of the state parks you've been to and or other places you would recommend in Texas to see, must-sees.
There's a lot. I mean, Palmetto State Park.
Okay, where's that at?
That's just south of Luling.
Okay.
That's a nice little place. It's kind of tropical. It's weird.
Yeah.
They got a lot of palm trees. Just a lot of tropical things going on.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of elevation out there. So it's kind of fun. And you can camp out there, kayak, swim. They've got a little river.
Yeah.
that's a nice little spot, and it's not very far from here. It's probably 20 minutes,
Okay.
25 minutes. So that's definitely worth a little day trip.
Yeah.
Bastrop State Park is awesome. You know, now's not the time of the year really because there's a lake and a pool there, but you can camp and get a little cabin out there.
Okay.
It used to be home to a lot of endangered species, frogs and lizards and things like that. Palo Duro Canyon up kind of closer to DFW, like Wichita Falls, I think.
Okay.
That's an awesome place. It's like the Grand Canyon of Texas.
Yeah.
Nice little spot to camp out. And that's, I forget what the name of it for stargazing, but it's considered like a dark site, I think.
Oh, really?
Or something like that. So, great spot to take a telescope or
Yeah.
just, you know, see with the naked eye.
Yeah.
And I mean, have you seen what phones can do these days?
As far as like tracking stars and like giving you that?
Sure, that, which is crazy, but
Yeah.
to think about. But like the cameras, how well they can zoom in, you know, you can see the rings on Saturn.
Oh, okay. That's dope. No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't like often use my phone to like photo shit out at night. I don't really like it, but
because they typically haven't been capable.
Yeah.
So.
But no, I never thought about like zooming into Saturn and checking that out. That's pretty dope. I did see the rings through a telescope, like out in the North Texas area. So that was pretty dope. Some night watching there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I don't know, just
I'm getting into it for sure. Like I was talking about, like just going out to Big Bend and doing all that type of stuff. That's super sick. And like I mentioned, you got to check that out.
Right. Absolutely.
Huge fucking park. Like just mind blowing of how like big it is.
Yeah.
Nothing out there. It's got its little main. What would they call them? They're shit. I don't even know what to call them since I've only been there once. They're like main hubs of I don't want to say civilization, but the main
campgrounds.
I guess so. Main campgrounds, and then they have the other little like sub main campgrounds,
like office.
Yeah. Office, even like resort area too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like lodging, I guess.
Okay.
Lodging and dining area. Mm-hmm. Little gas stations, because it's crazy. Like the fact that you got to put a gas station out there for that purpose.
Yeah.
Or you're fucked.
There's websites where you can look at the land that's for sale out there.
Oh, yeah?
And there's like millions of acres for sale. And like several, like hundreds of millions of acres. You know, it's just, it's crazy the amount you can buy, you know, the acreage of the city of Austin out there easily.
Yeah, there's not a lot of stuff tapped into out there.
Right. Yeah, and it's nothing. You'll have to like build your own civilization.
Yeah, for sure. From a road
there's no
to
grid.
anything.
Yeah. I mean, I've been taking financial classes, business classes and stuff.
That's cool.
Gonna start a small business or
cool.
two. Yeah.
What alleyway? What realm of business?
Starting one that's gonna be like a bakery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little local thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Already got some initial images for like the brand and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll run that by you after this.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the other one is going to be like a pop-up pizza shop.
Okay, so both in food?
Yeah, didn't see it coming personally, but
is that your personal like desired run to have them both in food?
I've got an entrepreneur spirit, so I see I see problems, I want to fix them.
Yeah.
It's nothing particular to me.
Yeah.
You know, if I had my choice, I'll start 100 small companies. It's just another problem that I'm looking for, really.
Okay.
And I don't know, you know, there's a little kind of a scene in like pop-up food in Austin.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, like, do you know any places in Austin that do that? Like that, I think it's Lazy Larry's or something. Dirty Larry's.
The burgers, right?
Yeah.
On Rainy?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was. I can see like where you're going with that. That's pretty cool. Bad Larry's.
Yeah.
Bad Larry's Burgers. No, I haven't had any. I've never had his stuff.
But you know the idea. Of
His
what I'm talking
idea
about.
of what he delivers is dope.
Right.
I think he's kind of gotten
Yeah.
Bad Larry. Don't hate me on this, but I if you're listening, I feel like he's kind of gotten away from
Right,
that.
yeah,
But I think
yeah.
his original push was
Yep.
like, "Yo, I'm gonna be here at this fucking
Yep.
table with 82 burgers.
Yep.
Come through.
Yep.
If you're number 83, you're fucked. We'll
Yep.
see you later on."
That's similar to the idea we're going.
That's cool.
With. Not we're not trying to steal all his stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's how you got to get into the market.
Yeah.
And he's going to brick and mortar.
Rip. See, okay,
So
that's cool.
he supposedly he's doing the bear from that Hulu show. It's like
Ted.
it's an
No.
Italian sandwich.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Oh, really? Okay,
Uh-uh.
you'll have to look that up too. But it's a really popular sandwich, and he's going to do a restaurant. Like that.
Oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had his stuff. I'd like to try it, but I think he got his big pop up during like the pandemic time
Yeah.
because I think he was
right.
doing it outside of his house
Yeah.
and then dipped over to there. So okay, so
yeah, and so that's the inspiration.
That's cool.
For that one. The bakery is going to just be like more like made to order stuff,
Yeah.
custom, more like a catering essentially.
okay. Are you gonna run that?
No.
No. Okay. I
No.
got you.
Yeah, I'll be doing the administrative stuff, running
Okay.
it, all of that.
Yeah.
So, and eventually, I'll just try to become less involved with
Yeah.
the company as it goes.
Bakery and pizza
Establishing.
pop. That's dope.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, and so that's where it's all going to start. But it'll be just going from there.
Yeah, that's sick. Well, shit. Hopefully we get to see some of this stuff pop off.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the pizza.
Yeah.
Thing. It's gonna. We've got some exciting stuff. It's
When-
coming soon.
Okay.
And
All
you
right.
can see us on Instagram.
Hit that.
Till death do us pizza.
Ooh, okay. Fuck, dude. We could have been talking about this the old time. I'm excited.
We'll have to do an episode on
That's
it.
dope.
Yeah, and we'll make you a pizza and
Okay.
see what you think.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
The pizza in the bakery. That's sick, dude. All right. Well, Freaks and Geeks. Check that out. Check that IG account out. Anything else you want to shout out? Close it out.
No, that's all I got.
All right, man. Me too. We'll appreciate you for coming through. Well, Freaks and Geeks, that's all she wrote. Thanks again to this week's guest on the podcast for coming in live into the studio and just sharing some of his thoughts, some of his ideas, sharing some of his future endeavors. Cas, definitely go support that guy. Support his pizza pop-up that he's got going in the works. Go follow him on IG and show him some love in general because he's always been down for the podcast and since day one, just always thrown support, always thrown some constructive criticism, always just been willing to help out, give some new ideas and pump some new blood in the podcast. So big shout out to him. Go follow him. Go support him. We are closing in on the finale, episode 30 of the podcast. We've still got episode 29 coming in hot next week, Freaks and Geeks, so you don't want to miss that one. You don't want to miss episode number 30. We got Big Family returning back, some returning guests to close this road to 30 out. So make sure you continue to follow us. Make sure you continue to like and subscribe on iTunes, on whatever podcast platform that you're listening to. Continue to throw support to the podcast because we definitely appreciate it. Got some good stuff planned for the future. Continue to hit up that podcast hotline. We want to answer your questions. All right. All the future guests are just getting ready to chime in on all your questions. So drop those hot at 512-522-3814. The Doctor's Orders podcast is a Life or Death studio production. Have a great day. Keep your fucking head up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your continued support. We'll see you on the next one. don't be late.